is Saturday, August 3rd, and you are watching You Don't Watch Sports right here on the Feo Grande YouTube network. I am Bill Smith, and I am joined as always by the man, the myth, the legend, Feo Grande himself. Oh, Mari, Ellis. Oh, Mari, how was your sports week, good sir?
My sports week's been all right. No big complaints, yeah, no big complaints. I'll get into it a bit. But
Just
yeah,
little complaints.
yeah.
All right, yeah, we're gonna get into it because we cover three topics here on You Don't Watch Sports. Just sprinkle a little bit of sports information into your conversation as we are your guiding light through the sea that is sports talk. Three topics, starting with topic number one. Omari, it is still the Olympics. We are about halfway through. We want to get a medal count going, and then we're gonna hit some big bullet points that have happened so far in the first half of the competition. What do we got
All right.
on the medal count?
So, I'll talk about like the teams that according to the official medal count, top five teams. In fifth place, we have Great Britain with 9 golds, 10 silvers, 8 bronzes, a total of 27 medals. In third place, we have Australia with 11 golds, 6 silvers, and 5 bronzes for a total of 22. France is in second with 11 gold medals, 12 silver, 13 bronze for a whopping 36 total. And China in the lead in first place at 13 golds, 9 silvers, and 9 bronzes for a total of 31 medals. Now, you may have guessed I skipped over number 4 because you want to talk about a minor complaint. US is behind. We are in fourth place with a mere 9 golds, 18 silvers and 16 bronzes, however. So we do have the most total overall medals, but we are losing in the overall count. But we're losing better than other people.
We still
So
got
we got
a
that.
bunch of big events coming up in the following in the second half, including men's basketball, women's soccer, all kinds of great. Most of the track and field has still yet to happen, so
Mhm.
we hope to rack up some wins there. The first half of the week, the big bright stars are who you would expect in a lot of cases. Simone Biles, you had your Katie
Ledecky.
Ledeckis. But beyond that, Omari, no no one took the world's hearts more than Mr. Yusuf Dikek of the Turkish shooter team,
Okay.
who has been dubbed Random Dad into some. The man came out in a t-shirt and pants, had his hand in his pocket, and so casually won silver for his country in the coolest way possible. The fits in the shooting competitions have really been something to marvel from things like the South Korea team, and then here with Yusuf from Turkey.
Did you
Uh,
see the one person with the stance?
yes, I couldn't remember what country he had come from. But yes, it was I feel like that's been the internet hit of the first half. So we'll see what ends up breaking out in the second week. On to topic number two, Omari, we got a big one coming back. A pillar of American sports is starting to grind its gears again. We have the NFL season starting to kick off with training camps. Teams are meeting up. And then we even got our Hall of Fame game from this past Saturday. Break it down for us.
That's right. This past Thursday night, it was the Houston Texans after their astonishing year last year under the quarterback CJ Stroud, going up against the Chicago Bears, who didn't have the best season, but they got Caleb Williams, who did not play. However, the Bears did come away with the win. CJ Stroud did not play in the Hall of Fame game. Brett Riplin for the Bears with 3 touchdowns leads the Bears to a 21-17 win over the Texans. Obviously, it's preseason, it's Hall of Fame game, put all your caveats you want to, but at the end of the day, a win on the board is better than a loss. I don't care if it's preseason or not. Sometimes That's all the fan bases can get. I remember one year the St. Louis Rams went undefeated in the preseason. We went 2-14 in the regular season, but boy, we had a good hopes going into that season.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So I have two questions for you this crazy early on in the NFL season. One, are there any storylines that we should be keeping an eye out for going into these camps? Are there any very obvious 1A, 1B quarterback competitions, anything like that? And
The
then
oh,
and then my second question would be, is there any team from last year that was at the bottoms that you're thinking might be on the come up this year that we should maybe start to keep an eye out on?
all right. So stories, I would say it seems like Aaron Rodgers and his miraculous healing Achilles wasn't quite as miraculous as we thought. He will not play the preseason. Get him some little bit more.
The guy who would have played in the playoffs if the Jets would have made it worth it can't make it to a game 8 months later.
He's been practicing at least because I saw him getting mad, him getting into an altercation with Garrett Wilson about miscommunication on a play, and Garrett Wilson being like, "Well, you should have been here during training or mini camp," type shit. But apparently, the coach is like, Aaron Rodgers won't be playing in the preseason, so make of that what you will. As far as the quarterback competitions, allegedly, I have not done further research, but I remember seeing through Twitter the other day. Apparently, Steelers country, let's fight. Justin Fields and Russell Wilson allegedly got into an altercation in a practice the other day, and like physical altercation. So there's your quarterback
Can't imagine
competition.
Russell Wilson fighting.
Oh, me neither, but you know, it apparently happened. Yeah. And as far as bad teams that'll turn it around, the Panthers. No. Uh,
I mean, you're allowed
I,
to say that
I am not allowed to say it when they couldn't even get the number
when you
one
have no
overall draft
justification
pick.
for it.
They didn't even get the number one overall draft pick. That went to the Bears. And I will say the Bears will do a lot better this season because they got a couple extra pieces to help their new uh quarterback, and they still have DJ Moore. So I think Caleb Williams, if he turns out to be any half as decent as people think he's gonna be, will bring the Bears at least to an improved season over last year. Other teams, I have not been paying as much attention as I should to, so I can't really speak for them. But I do like the Bears' chances of having a bounce back season because it seems like they're finally trying to help this draft pick as opposed to not help Fields that much until he was on the way out.
Right. All right. Okay, let's move into topic number three, Omari. We got our wrestling topic as usual, and it is SummerSlam this weekend. So we're going to go through this card real quick, and we are going to try and give our thoughts and our predictions on who should be walking away with the victories. Let's start it off with the men's World Heavyweight Championship over on Raw. Your current champion, Damian Priest, is going up against Gunther. What do you think is happening here? I'll tell you what, Omari, I have gotten way more interested in this matchup in the last 2 weeks. The things that these gentlemen have been doing on TV have made this match a lot more interesting for me. At first, I was kind of,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
was a little, I was a little bummed on a Damian Priest continued championship run, and I think WWE is making me eat my words a little bit on that.
Yeah, I feel like Damian Priest wins and continues this because so far that's what his run has been about. Surprising everybody with how long this transitional champ was going to be.
What
Yeah,
more surprising can you be other than I mean you did just defeat Seth Rollins, who
did.
who in WWE terms
Oh yeah, Seth Rollins wasn't
very
that strong.
strong, very powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely that's what I'm saying. It's more he's actually there. solidifying the character Damian Priest, because I do feel like eventually that title will start switching hands with other people for a while.
Yeah.
But we can at least make sure that once we do whatever we're doing there, Damian is still credible AF to come back into the picture going
Hmm.
forward. This is a long term investment, and I think it continues. He beats Gunter, shuts everybody up about transitional champ. Dude won at Mania and held it through SummerSlam.
Yeah. I think a lot of this card is very hard to predict for me because there's so many ways they can go with this. I do think either Priest is retaining here in a surprisingly clean way, much like some of his other victories in his championship run, as you stated, or we finally have this disillusion of the Judgment Day that seems to have been building for some time. And maybe a Finn Balor gets involved to the point where
It's detrimental.
and then it becomes a Finn and Damian Priest situation, which one could maybe argue doesn't need the title because of all of the emotional they've been running with each other for 3 years now.
True.
Um, and then Gunther can go off with the title and kind of and still do the kind of the same thing you were saying of he's not going to have one of his intercontinental runs. Maybe he'll start handing it back and forth between him and Seth Rollins or him and Sami
Mm-hmm.
Zayn or
Yeah.
whoever. But I don't know. I'm because you went the other way. I'll go ahead and say Finn Balor shenanigans gives Gunther the victory here.
All right.
Let's move to the WWE Women's Champion, Omari. My girl Bailey is facing the Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax, on a big rematch from a NXT takeover that they had for the NXT Women's Championship years and years ago. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen here?
I think Nia takes it. Whereas the King of the Ring, Gunther, is probably going to enter the thing, like you were saying, with the redemption, with the welcome to the big leagues. Although obviously Gunther's big league, but you get my point. This, for a lack of a better analogy, just the hey, you're on a main card. You ain't that guy here just yet. I think that's happening to Gunther. Nia's had the title before. I'm pretty certain, and she just won Queen of the Ring. She's on a tear. I think she wins it over Bailey, while Gunther loses on this side.
Yeah, although I love Bailey as champion, and I would
Same.
love to continue like there's a growing word on the internet about this, and they all caveated of like it's nothing against Bailey, but I've just found her championship run a little boring. And I guess if you find that way, that's fine. I kind of enjoy her just kind of having these 1 month feuds
Yeah.
with different folks as they run through the women's division trying to compete for that belt. And Bailey keeps holding strong with it. But I do understand some folks saying the opposite. And in the opposite, you have that storyline sitting there of Queen Nia Jax holding the WWE Women's title while her recent protege, the princess of Money in the Bank, Tiffany Stratton, is sitting right there next to her side with the cash-in capabilities. Any moment she can do it. The things that they can play
Yeah.
with that is very interesting, I'll admit. So it's going to be hard to say Bailey retains here. I'm going to go with Nia Jax as well. The other Women's World Championship, Omari, over on Raw, is currently held by Liv Morgan. We are going to have a fight between her and Rhea Ripley. A lot of people were assuming that this was going to be a heavily stipulation match, some sort of ladder match, a no DQ, a Hell in the Cell, steel cage. Seems to, as of right now, as we're
Just the
recording
singles.
this, it's just a basic singles match. for the World Heavyweight title. The last thing in the storyline we've experienced is Dominic Mysterio cursing out Liv Morgan in Spanish, telling her that she's no good, that he doesn't care about her at all. He's into Rhea Ripley. He's Rhea's.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, what do you think's going to happen here?
I wanted to say Rhea, but I feel like if the Judgment Day is dissolving, part of it could be surprise. Dominic turns up, helps Liv win. Or actually, I don't see the Judgment Day fully dissolving because I think Priest is going to have it, but I think the cracks will further form. Dominic comes out legit trying to help Rhea, helps Liv retain. That's what I'm saying. Like inadvertently, he helps Liv retain while trying to help Rhea, and then like a month from now, surprise, I'm with Liv now.
Yeah, I think this story isn't over. And in order to keep it really going, I think you have to keep the belt on Liv.
Mm,
I think if you move the belt to Rhea on this evening, I think that kind of ends this story between the two of them when because of injuries, it's really just started.
yeah,
So I think Liv Morgan needs to retain here. I agree. I think it's I don't know if it's going to be a Judgment Day is over or if Rhea and Damien, the new freshly baby faces of Judgment Day, just get kicked out.
yeah,
And they add Liv Morgan. So now it's a Liv Morgan, Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and possibly Carlito, who has been hovering in the
yeah.
sidelines for several Raws now. Let's go to the United States Championship. Logan Paul versus LA Knight. I think Logan Paul is getting very close to a calendar year holding this belt, and he has had two defenses. I think everybody's ready for him to drop this, are they not?
As am I. As am
L
I. Yeah.
A
A
Knight.
night. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the Intercontinental title between Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker. This is a direct rematch of our Money in the Bank title match. What do you think's happening here?
I think you can only hold Braun back so long.
Yes, I mean this is the second match. Uh we talked off camera how there are seven matches on this card, which is oddly large for
Yeah.
a Triple H era run WWE event. Um, Maybe one of them goes 7 seconds. uh,
Yeah.
we'll have to see. Um, okay, two big matches of the night, as far as I can see, Omari, and so many things can happen in either one of them. What are we gonna do first? Let's talk about CM Punk and his very first televised singles match returning to WWE is going to be finally fighting Drew McIntyre. Special guest referee Seth freaking Rollins, who expressed on last Raw that basically anything that he wants to go will go. What do you I mean?
Punk
The most
wins.
unpredictable. Do you
Yeah.
think it's really just that automatic? It's Punk's first match back.
Well, like you
He's
said, it's
got to
his
win.
first match back. Yeah. Because it's his first match back,
But he's
I'm
had
saying
the
Punk
upper
wins.
hand despite being injured through most of it. He has had the upper hand through the majority of this feud. Other
I'm
than the
rooting for
one night
Drew.
that Drew beat him up and took his bracelet,
I'm
he
rooting for Drew, but the whole point of this is see the whole point of the storyline is CM Punk screws Drew over. And what better way than to have a guest referee like Seth Rollins who can just whatever mood he's in, do something, come to a random agreement with Punk right in time for the match to say fuck Drew McIntyre.
yep. There's a lot of folks online that are saying SummerSlam 1997, and I think that is that is very appropriate and possibly accurate. If you don't know, go ahead and give yourself a Google. Finally, Omari, the WWE Undisputed Championship held by Cody Rhodes. He is back in bloodline bullshit. He's facing Solo Sikoa in what he has already announced. Maybe this was Cody Rhodes going into business for himself, but he has already announced that it will be the main event of the card. Now, why would Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa be the final match of SummerSlam?
Because Cody Rhodes is the WWE champion?
Well, yes, but he's
Yes, no
fighting Solo Sikoa.
rumors
I mean, him and
about
AJ
possible
Styles opened up Money in the Bank.
yeah,
Or no,
rumors about
Clash
the
at the Castle.
possible Roman thing, yes. But I was just going with the most obvious of logical reasons that aren't Roman return base that it could be. Like technically they could just be going final because he's the champion.
Yes, that is true.
So I will say, hopefully, I don't even know if it's gonna be Roman that shows up.
You know, someone just finished shooting a movie. Like literally, they made a big public release statement announcement about how shooting on the hurt the hurt machine, the punching machine, I don't know, whatever biopic that Dwayne The Rock Johnson is currently
Yeah.
filming, finished up like last Thursday or
Oh
something.
my goodness. That's crazy.
I
That should be
mean,
fun.
it should be fun. I am going to go ahead and put my cards down that it will be a Cody Rhodes retains plus Roman Reigns return, where we will set up Cody Rhodes taking again a break from bloodline business while it becomes a Roman bloodline story. And Cody can go do a couple of defenses against maybe a Randy Orton, maybe a Kevin Owens,
Yeah.
maybe somebody outside of bloodline business. That's what I'm gonna guess right now, but I mean honestly, anything can happen. Anything can happen. If they want to go
I
solo,
agree.
Sikoa wins and then Roman comes out, I don't know if I can tell you that I'll be happy about it, but I can see him doing it.
Yeah, same. Same.
All righty. Well, that
Well, yeah,
is, yeah.
just saying the same thing. All right, well, there you yeah, if you want to see more of it, can you hear me right now? Because it's a little jumpy on my
I
end.
can hear you, but you are just a few frames drop every now and then.
Okay. Yes. But yeah, if you want to see more of us, you can catch it on this channel. Mondays, we got mock draft, the two of us, as well as any others, drafting various things from Looney Tunes to Jim Carrey characters to etc. Wednesdays or Tuesdays, we have This Guy Hasn't Seen, the two of us trading things back and forth, help you like be like a movie club, book club, entertainment club. It's very fun. Wednesdays, Whatever We Want podcast. Good friend of mine, good friend of the show, Super Jazz, joins
Super
me, and we
Jazz.
talk. Thank you very much. As nature intended, we talk about just that, whatever we want. And obviously, Saturdays, we got this show. More down the line. I also have a Twitter and Twitch, Giotavi, Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. Bill, you got anything else you want to say to the folks?
No, sir. Have a good sports week.
All right, you guys do just that.